So I guess let's start out our rambling like we always do. Dan, what have we been doing lately?
So I've been playing a whole lot of Magic Duels.
Yeah, what's that?
So Magic Duels is a card game for the Magic the Gathering trading card game. And it's pretty good. It's not as well made of a video game as Hearthstone.
So when you say it's a card game, is it a video game?
It's a video game of a card game.
What's it on?
It's on Steam. It's on iPad, iPhone, and Xbox One.
Well, why?
I don't know.
It feels like it'd be real uncomfortable to play.
Well,
I mean, the Yu-Gi-Oh games were on consoles, so
yeah,
I guess not.
It's not too bad. You just have to like select stuff.
So I just saw a funny Facebook post. I hope Elon Musk never gets into a scandal because Elongate would just get really drawn out. That's clever.
Nice.
Thank you, Jonathan. So is that all you've been doing?
Yeah, I've been playing the new Halloween event for Overwatch a bit too. That's been pretty fun so far.
All I've seen is that people are going nuts about the Mercy Halloween outfit.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of people really like it.
People really like it. But yeah, it's good stuff.
I'm still playing Popolo Croy. It's longer than I expected.
Is it good?
It's all right.
Okay.
It's the most average RPG I've ever played.
The most average.
It is.
That's exceptional.
Super average. It's so like I don't dislike anything about it, but it just doesn't stand out at all.
Yeah. Just completely average in every way.
Yeah. I've been playing that. I've been playing Hearthstone. I started Atelier Iris, which is a PS2 game by Gust, which you've heard me. Gust. They made the Atelier, Artanalico, Monachemia, etc. Those games.
Yeah.
So I like Monachemia a lot, which I think I've talked about on here before. This is the kind of predecessor to that.
So,
or more accurately, Monachemia is a spin-off of Atelier.
So what do you think so far?
Very cool. It kind of feels like Monachemia, but simplified a little bit, just to make it like play smoother. Because Monachemia is super cool because you like alchemize all your items together. That's how you build weapons. That's how you level up. But after a while, it gets really tedious. It seems much more streamlined and simple in this game, which I like a lot. I've heard that doesn't remain the case through all of the Atelier games. But I'll cross that bridge when I find out where the bridge is.
Yeah, at least this one's good.
This one's fun for now.
Good. Looks like we have Benny and Freshie watching.
Hello. I've been watching a lot of movies. At your behest.
Recently? Yeah?
Actually, let me check what I watched recently.
Okay.
Oh, I saw The Revenant.
Oh, yeah.
Which I liked a lot. I liked it a lot. Not as much as I liked Romeo plus Juliet. The 90s reimagining of Romeo and Juliet where they're in Verona Beach, but it copies the entire script verbatim.
Yeah.
It's
interesting. It definitely is interesting.
I think you told me you don't like it.
So
I think it's amazing. It's one of my favorite movies.
So I have sort of weird feelings about it. I think visually it looks really cool. I love the idea for the script.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really funny. I don't think it's.
I think it's hilarious.
It's really funny. But I think it just doesn't. In the end, I didn't think it was a great movie.
I think I feel about how a lot of people feel about video games, where a lot of people think like a video game should just be fun and like nothing else matters. That's how I feel about movies. If it makes me laugh or like think it's cool, that's all that mattered to me.
I mean, that's fair.
But there's still a place for like really smart movies, which just aren't the kinds I typically like. Because I liked Tusk and you didn't.
Tusk was like terrible. It was just bad.
I've seen Waiting 13 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The director Baz Luhrmann is just like really weird in general to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of like and kind of don't like everything I've seen him do.
And he was the director of The Revenant, right?
No.
Or no?
No.
Who was that? I don't know directors.
No, that's Iñárritu is it's Alejandro.
Did he do both Romeo plus Juliet and The Revenant?
No. Yeah, it's Alejandro González Iñárritu.
Okay. What else? Oh, Michio Yasuda died.
Yeah.
One of the animators for Studio Ghibli.
Mm-hmm.
She did, I I don't know if she did everything. I know she did the art for Spirited Away, Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah.
I believe May and the Kitten Bus is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, The Cat Returns, I think it was.
Okay.
And My Neighbor Totoro. So I'm going to watch My Neighbor Totoro for the first time to commemorate that.
Okay.
Any other goings on? It's 6 now, so we should get started soon.
I don't think I have too much else to talk about. That's been most of what I've been doing recently. I've just had my soul completely consumed by Magic again.
Yeah, I've been being sick a lot the past 3 days. I'm all right now, but yeah. Okay, then let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Respawn Lounge. We're on episode 6. This is called Lonely Rolling Star. This is the Katamari episode. And for those that don't know, Lonely Rolling Star is one of the best Katamari songs, in my opinion.
It's pretty good.
Do you know most of the Katamari songs?
Yeah, I mean, not by name, but like, Katamari is like big enough, and I like Katamari enough that I've heard most of it.
Roll you up into my heart. I love it. I love the like swing jazz vibe the whole series has.
Oh yeah, it's great.
So, let me find my notes. Actually, let me introduce our guests. What are you doing?
We're doing nothing.
A nice mint wrapper passing
We're just
between
throwing
each
it
other.
back and forth.
Yes.
Okay, so we have our friends Lucas.
Nope.
I guess not. Get close to the mic. We have Lucas. Identify
Goose.
yourself.
I am Goose. That's it.
Okay. What are your credentials? What do you know about video games and why are you here?
I play a lot of Katamari. I've spent countless hours of my life, almost a year, 276 days in World of Warcraft, and about 60-something worth in Dota.
Oh dear God.
Dota
Alright.
1, not Dota 2. Very clear distinction there.
So your whole life was a waste then.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So far, at least.
And Ryan,
Hey, I'm Ryan. I stream on Twitch as well at Dombeduck.
I'll spell that actually.
Dumbee Duck. Yeah, I stream like a variety of games. I did a WoW leveling series. I am now streaming Gears of War at the moment, and yeah, I play lots of video games.
Oh,
So
how
it's
is the
fun.
Gears of War?
Oh, the new Gears of War is like actually pretty awesome. Definitely polished everything that was like pretty slow and terrible.
We watched you play for a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
It looked really fun.
Yeah.
We were joking about how all the enemies shoot gear-shaped bullet holes into you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Strictly like into your eyelids, and that's
Yeah.
why you see them. So
Yeah. It's another Dad of War simulator.
Dad of War. Yeah.
Okay, Dan, what is your experience with Katamari?
So my experience with Katamari is mostly at like parties and experiences with friends. I really enjoy it, but I never owned any of the game personally.
Well, they're predominantly on like Sony consoles, which I don't think you have many of.
Yeah, I mean I had the PS2, so I had that, but I just never owned any of them. I don't exactly remember why. I don't think there was anything like preventing me from buying them. I think I just like happened to always be interested in buying something else over it.
They are. I will grant they don't really feel like $60 like gotta have it kind of games.
Yeah.
They're like super duper fun for like 20 or 30 or so. I would probably buy one for 60 now, being as big a fan as I am of Katamari, but I can see why somebody wouldn't really see them as that valuable. We just had 2 more people walk in. Are either of you gonna chat on this?
Me.
Riva is.
Oh.
All right,
Okay.
pull up a seat, Riva. Everyone,
Yeah.
scoot over. Let's accommodate.
Scoot. Noot.
So, Riva, you've been on before, but not officially.
Yeah.
A little closer if you can. The mic's not. Yeah.
God.
So, we are in a different room. We're in a classroom instead of Dan's dorm. We're also airing 3 hours earlier, which is awesome because I hate being at school for 14 hours every Thursday. We've got a lot. It's a lot more spacious in here. The ambience is a little bit nicer. It's not quite so crowded. We can fit more people in here, so it's going to be kind of closer to that dynamic of actually being a lounge. Like, if this goes really well, I'm going to start having it be kind of open. People walk in, walk out kind of thing. But we'll see how this first episode goes, especially with our conflicting schedules and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the plan for now. Back to Riva. Introduce yourself.
My name is Riva, and I'm here. And this is the first time that they've let me on, and I didn't have to crawl through the window, which I've done the past 2 times.
Cool.
Good.
And what are your credentials? Have you played Katamari? What do you think about it?
I have played Katamari. I love it to death. I've played, I think, the first 2. I don't know if I beat the second one all the way, because I've actually never owned a PlayStation 2, so any game that I've beaten on the PlayStation 2, I did at other people's houses, and I don't remember if my friend was really happy about me playing Katamari and ignoring them when we were like 10 or whatever. And then I played the mobile game too. Not
Tap My Katamari or the older one?
No, the older one where it was like an actual like Katamari game. It was on iPad, I think. I played it on iPad at least.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the name of that actually, because I had a list earlier. Was it Rolling with Katamari?
Possibly.
Or Katamari Amore?
It might have been Katamari Amore. Because
That was the one that came out in
Amore.
2011. Rolling with Katamari was never available in the US, I don't
okay,
think.
then yeah, it was the other
Amore.
one. It was like, that one was forever ago, and it was very hard because I have problems playing anything with dual sticks to begin with, and then it was on an iPad, so it was just me screaming.
Yeah. The Katamari series is kind of like weird to play with the dual analog movement. Once you get used to it, it's really nice. So yeah, my experience with Katamari originally is actually very similar to that. I played it at a friend's house on an emulator at a party, which got me to, back in the days when I had a modded PSP, I downloaded Me and My Katamari, fell in love with that, even though that's kind of touted as one of the worst Katamari games. It only got a 75 on Metacritic as opposed to the like high 80s for everything else, basically.
Yeah.
And then I went on to eventually like buy and beat and like 100% complete almost every Katamari game that's ever come out in the US since then. I own all except for Beautiful Katamari because it's redundant because all of its levels are in Katamari Forever for the PS3, and I don't own a 360. So, I have a lot of experience with Katamari. I've played virtually all of them. I haven't gotten to play Tap My Katamari yet, the mobile game that came out in January. I don't like mobile games that much. I'm probably not going to mess with it. So, for people who don't know what Katamari is, which, how could you not, looking at this picture that we've got on our screen, that actually sums it up pretty well. So it's a game published by originally Namco and later Namco Bandai. It was created by Keita Takahashi, who didn't want his work to be considered artistic or amazing, which is kind of how we treat Katamari now, but he just wanted to bring the goofy fun back to video games. He says that he kind of wants to get out of that and build children's parks, which you can kind of see like that type of person in him through his games. So what you do in these is you take control of the prince, who is the little green dude, who actually is not in this picture. Dan, if you can find a picture of the prince.
Yeah.
You play as either him or one of his numerous cousins that you roll up in your big old Katamari ball as you go around cities or bedrooms or what have you, and you roll things, where a thing can be anything from a shogi piece to a real human, and you roll them into a giant ball to turn into a star to appease the king of all cosmos, who is your dad.
Chuck them into the fucking space.
Yeah, you throw them into space, he judges you, and if you fail, he sometimes like hangs you by a noose or something terrible, and then he makes it into a star and judges you. The king, really interesting to me, he refers to himself in first person plural, so...
Look how cute that guy is. That's the prince.
Yeah, I love the prince.
Well, first person plural is actually...
He says, like, we are proud of you, or whatever.
We, which is very typical of monarchs, but it's something that I didn't know, and I had to look up because I thought it was weird as hell that they were doing it in Katamari.
Yeah.
It started like it was a British royalty that would, like, especially in like the 18th century, they would say we to like represent themselves as a country, like they were the country.
Yeah.
And if you're going to talk, you should get a little bit closer, because I don't know if the mic got any of that.
90% sure.
That's my
Probably
contribution.
didn't.
So, anyway, in case you didn't hear for some reason, the summary of that is that started in Britain with monarchs referring to themselves as representing their entire country.
Yeah, which is where the we came from.
Yeah. So, and that's how the king talks. He says, we are proud of you. And before every level, he kind of gives a little speech that's really nonsensical. It'll be something like, roll up 50 crabs, and he'll be like, so we once had a pet crab. We named him, Henrique or something. And he goes on this weird tangent. And the best part is, you can start playing the game whenever you want. So you can just roll forward, and the second you pick something up, he's just like, hey, I wasn't done, and then just like gets pouty and mad and doesn't talk to you for the rest of the mission. There are 12 Katamari games total, including the mobile games, 7 or 8 of which made it to the US. I think 8. The most recent was Tap My Katamari, which came out in January, which is that mobile game. Before that was, what was it called? Touch My Katamari for the PS Vita, which I doubt a lot of people played because that system didn't sell very well. But I did play it. I thought it was alright. It had very few levels, but it did have a lot of free DLC, so you could like roll up the... since it's made by Namco, they had a Pac-Man level.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you could roll up the dots and later the ghosts and stuff like that. That was kind of neato. But it didn't do it for me like the other Katamari games did. Katamari Forever is far and away my favorite. Has anyone else played Forever? The one with the you have the one with the Robot King and the regular King. Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, nice.
I'll let you play it later, Dan.
Okay.
The first Katamari game was Katamari Damacy, which was released in 2004 in Japan. I think the US it came out the year after that. I seem to remember hearing a story about it being made by just like a group of kids at their high school.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything on that though, so I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I recall.
Okay.
And that's the last of my notes. It also, the last note says the music is fucking lit. But
Objectively true.
so, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think Katamari is one of the best games that I've seen that's aged like phenomenally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Even Katamari Damacy still plays, like, super well.
It plays super well. It looks fantastic because they purposely went with a low poly style because just of how big the levels are.
Yeah.
PlayStation really couldn't handle that back in 2004.
They actually pull a trick that that Spyro popularized, where in Spyro, if you're really far away from something, they just have low poly textures for the stuff in the background, so they're still visible, but just like not that abrasive and upfront.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whenever you hit certain thresholds of rolling up your ball into like a certain, I think it measures diameter. When you get to a certain point, it'll sparkle and like do a zoom out noise, and all of the smaller things will become low poly and low texture, and it'll eventually get to the point where you're rolling up like islands and buildings and shit, and you just won't be able to see them at all.
Yeah. It's using technology well.
Yes.
Helps
Yeah.
prevent horrible aging.
Yeah,
A
and
lot
I
of
think that's the best
PS2
thing
games.
Spyro did. Spyro made Katamari better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just like the art it's like one of my favorite games stylistically. It's like up there with like Wind Waker and everything.
It's very vibrant, very colorful.
Very vibrant, very colorful, and they stuck with the style throughout the whole thing, which like most people do, but it like I've never seen a game pull it off quite as well as Katamari, where you can tell what everything is, but it's super low poly, super retro, nice. It's like
I hate to draw the comparison, but it's a little bit Minecrafty in its simplicity,
yes,
which I think it even pulls it off better because Minecraft is strictly squares and you can like vaguely tell that your guy's a human. It's really clear in Katamari.
It's also
Yeah.
one of those things too where like with Katamari, if I remember correctly, didn't rely super heavily on like textures or shading or anything.
No, I don't think it had any shading.
Yeah, which
Anything
is
but the
like
most basic.
in comparison to like Minecraft, it's got like weird textures on everything. There's a reason why people make texture packs for Minecraft because the textures are not the best.
Yeah.
So Katamari dodged a really good bullet by just kind of like not worrying too much about that sort of stuff. And it adds to the quirky feel because I don't remember any other games that I played that around the same time that like looked anything like it. Because yeah, it's like cutesy and blocky and everything, but it looks super well like polished.
I was actually looking for that the story. Apparently, that was just completely made up. I'm not sure where I heard that, but yeah, it was when it was premiered at Tokyo Game Show in 2003. The press dubbed it a snowball simulator.
Snowball simulator.
I don't know how literal that was, but
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sort of right.
Yeah.
If everything
You were
is
literally
snow
rolling it
and
up
matter is
and
actually snow.
picking up things, yeah.
Yeah, game theory.
Yeah.
Everything is snow.
Yeah, exactly. That sounds great.
Great.
I would.
Every object you're picking
the
up is
prince's nest.
Yeah.
Oh god. Not like this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Everything in Katamari looks like really pretty
Oh,
and
yeah.
cute all
Yes.
the time.
Yeah, it says here too that what's the guy's name again? Keita. He said that he had 4 key points when he was developing the game. He wanted novelty, which I think he hit a home run on that.
Yeah.
Ease of understanding. Yeah, I mean you got like a 30-second tutorial at the beginning that's like this is how you roll and this is how you jump and that's pretty much it. Enjoyment. Yeah, totally. And humor. I think the game's hysterical.
Oh yeah.
Because there's little like subplots going on in the levels too, where you see like Godzilla's fighting a giant like Ultraman guy or something like that.
Yeah, and just even with like what you'll see people doing in the levels,
Mm-hmm.
but just the idea itself is just absolutely ridiculous.
You'll see like 5 guys with like the long exaggerated Japanese pompadours just standing like on top of each other fighting a bear or something like that.
Yeah,
Because they just pack the levels with whatever they can think of.
Yeah.
it's these very tiny contained moments that tell a story, but they tell a story fast enough too to where you can really get them. Because Katamari, as great as it is, it's a very fast-paced game. Because you have a time limit. You have to get this many things, or you have to be so big. And
Yeah, a lot of the humor comes from like, holy shit, did you see that silly thing? Like
Yeah.
it's very like Nichijou-esque.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You get to laugh at it before you consume them into the ball.
And then turn them into a star.
Yeah, and then you get to throw everything that you wrapped up in the star, which...
Just ignore the part where everybody dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
It's fine, whatever.
That's the best part is that nobody just... It's just never acknowledged, ever.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
like...
Isn't there one of the games, too, where they, like, acknowledge what's happening to them, too?
I think it's
Yeah.
We Love Katamari, the one
Yeah.
that came right after Damashi, where they're like, yeah, I'm so excited, like, just throw
Oh, the
me
prince
into
is
the
back. Oh.
space.
Yeah, there are
So it'll
characters
be
who will say, like,
sacrificed.
roll me up, please, or something like that. Or you'll have quests from, like ants or something. In Me and My Katamari, you're on an island, and ants or elephants or other animals will be like, hey, roll up 50 people for me. Like there are conscious organisms who, like, know what's happening.
Yeah. Which just really adds to the whole, like, quirky...
Yeah. It's as slapstick as it gets.
The
Yes.
goofy cosmic horror.
It's super slapstick, but not in an annoying way.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've played games that have tried to be really funny, but it just, like, gets horrible. But Katamari just, like, absolutely nails, like, how to do humor well.
Slapstick,
When you wanna
Lovecraftian
be-
horror.
Yeah, when you want to be, like, irreverent comedy where you do have 5 guys with exaggerated pompadours standing on top of each other fighting a bear. Like...
It's what I imagine the silent comedy of people throwing pies in each other's faces. Like, this is what I assume that evolves into.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Bear fights.
You're also totally right. There's very few games that have managed to do comedy well.
Mm.
Like, can you think of, like, any comedic games?
Undertale.
Pajama Sam.
Yeah. But, like, well, I
Well,
mean,
the-
Like
the
intentionally.
The
like, on
point and
nail.
click games are kind of, like, funny in nature. That's a little bit of what
Yeah.
drives them.
But
But in general, no, humor's not a
Yeah.
genre that's really tackled by video games.
yeah.
because
I mean, there's, like, very few anyway.
because usually any amount of humor done just by the gaming population in general is horrible. Like
Yeah.
Watch Dogs and like memes
Yeah.
is just like I'd just
Well,
rather be dead.
It
I don't know,
also
I-
doesn't usually kind of hit well whenever you do it in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't have the right timing that's necessary with humor.
And it's
All-
also like Katamari isn't topical, which is
Yeah,
great.
it's very self-contained, timeless style humor,
Mhm.
which the likes of I've only ever really seen in like Metal Gear Solid, which was a comparison I didn't expect to draw to Katamari, but yeah, like I remember in Phantom Pain, there's like on your base, there's a sign that says like "Don't stand here, or boxes will fall on your head," and I was like looking at it, like trying to zoom in to see closer. I was like, "What?" And then a box fell on Snake's head and just knocked him out.
Nice.
Yeah, so like humor does exist in games, but it's very difficult to pull off. Like
Right.
I can name way more examples of just humor gone horribly, horribly wrong in video games.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of there's always going to be a lot of physics humor in video games, which is why like
Yeah.
physics simulator
Yeah.
games are so popular or
Yeah.
so
Goat
popular.
Simulator and
Yeah.
everything else. God damn it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, or like Octodad. Like there's
Yeah.
games that are built to be funny in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
But
think
it's-
Octodad-
Most of those are just kind of.
Well, they also tend to be very like one and done, like kind of
Oh, yeah.
like YouTuber bait.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Katamari is far from like Katamari is
Oh,
in
yeah.
its inherency a fun game, whereas Octodad is a piece of shit game that's just kind of funny to look at for a few minutes.
Yeah.
yeah, because Octodad is horrible to control.
Yeah,
but that's why it's
but
funny.
that's the joke.
Yeah.
Whereas
Right.
Katamari is very deliberate humor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Katamari doesn't rely on a gimmick to be funny.
Yeah.
Where like that's the gimmick in Octodad is you're an octopus. You can't really move like a normal person should. So like you have to play the game that way. Very frustrating.
but very funny.
Yes, and like with Katamari, the frustration that I felt wasn't super terrible. Like, yeah, I had to, I didn't hit the limit or whatever in whatever amount of time, but the game is so fun, and there's so many funny things that you'll catch kind of just every time going through, that playing through levels again because I messed up the first time wasn't a terrible thing like it is in every other game ever.
Yeah, I think part of what's going for that is that Katamari's controls and like what you're doing with your character and all is weird and funny, like it is in like other weird and funny kind of sort of physics games. Not that Katamari is like a physics game.
Yeah.
But it also controls well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
while
it's a
managing to
game
be funny.
first.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's and that's a lot of what the Keita, I can't remember this dude's name. Keita Takahashi. That's one of his the biggest thing he wanted to focus on was just making a fun game first and foremost.
Yeah.
And I feel like he basically threw an idea out. He's like, you roll shit up and make a star. And everyone's like, cool, we'll just stick funny stuff in there wherever we feel like it because it doesn't matter. There doesn't need to be any like contextualization for the plot or anything because we know the plot's stupid. And I think that just really lends to why this game is so much fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't We Love Katamari have like cutscenes that tell?
Katamari Damacy does.
Damacy?
Yeah.
I thought that We Love Katamari did as well.
I don't recall quite as clearly. Katamari Damacy had the like the little girl who's just like, I can feel the cosmos, and it's all like really creepy, and you're like rolling up constellations and stuff.
Oh
Weird.
no, the We Love Katamari tells the king's story of how he got to wherever.
Oh yeah, it's him like
is.
growing up, and
Yeah.
like his pompadour got cut off, so he got like really sad and had to like
Yeah.
glue it back on.
And like his dad was like just super like angry, and it's like him like doing ballet as like a tiny little prince. So then it's implied that like the prince is gonna get like freaking huge and like massive too.
Mm-hmm. Can we get a picture of the King of All Cosmos, Dan?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the King of All Cosmos. Gotta love the cod piece. That's the best part.
100%.
That's one of my favorite things about me and my Katamari is you go to the levels by launching yourself out of a catapult, and you just fly straight into its junk every time.
Good.
I love it. See what you get, Dan.
Pulling up an image now. You all will
What I love most about Katamari is that it is weird, unconventional, and in some aspects bad. It is the perfect game.
What do you think's bad about it?
Just kind of, it's for my major thing is that some of the mechanical controls don't feel as tight as I'd want them to, but that's just the small amount of playing fighting games I have, and that's just me wanting really tight stuff, and the reason why I can't even play mini console games anymore except for Monster Hunter because I have a problem. But other than that, there's not necessarily like anything bad about it. It's just like
It's just imperfect. I
Yeah.
think that's a little bit of the charm too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if it was like perfectly done, I don't exactly know if it would be as well loved.
Yeah, because when I think about like really fun games and stuff, they tend to not also be what I think are the best games.
Yeah.
Because there is a charm to the like imperfections of it. There's a little bit of like transparency, like kind of keep them honest kind of attitude with that.
Yeah. It's weird because you would think that like the perfect game would be that, and it would be perfect in every way, story, mechanics, motivation.
But if every game were perfect, every game would be the same and nothing would be fun.
That's true.
So whatever. Thank you, Katamari, for being imperfect.
Yeah.
Pretty much why I like it, I have only played it like once or twice, but I've like watched like 3 Let's Plays of like different of the games, and pretty much between like playing it the few times that I have and then actually like watching it, it's a very watchable game. So whether you're actually just in the room watching somebody else play the game or oh jeez.
I see the king now.
Oh, he's beautiful.
the king in all his glory. But yeah, like all the humor gets portrayed well, and like even if you're not playing the game and you're just like somebody else in the room, and like whether it's like in a party setting or something else, it really holds up, and you can get about the same amount of enjoyment as like the player.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's worth mentioning. Is it's not a party game. Some of them have multiplayer.
Yeah.
But it's a very how do you put it? Watchable, like you
Yeah,
said.
it's very watchable.
It's very entertaining just to like participate in any convention. Because I remember like my first experience with it, I didn't play it at all. I just like literally watched someone beat the game in front of me, and I had a blast watching them.
Oh yeah.
Just because it was so like bizarre and weird. It was so much fun to just like why is there a swan boat? Why is there a Loch Ness monster in the zoo? Why are there 18 bears stacked on top of each other?
Yeah, Katamari is one of the first Let's Plays that I remember ever watching, and then watching all the way through. It was the Freelance Astronauts, who nobody knows about, but rest in peace, Freelance Astronauts.
Oh.
They were one of the people that like really made group Let's Plays the way that they are. Them and oh shit, I'm forgetting his name right now. It's the guy that does shit. Anyway, but one of the first Let's Plays that they did was one of Katamari, and I had kind of forgotten about the game until I watched it again. I was like, holy shit, that's Katamari. And it's really good, and they played it really well, because I did not play very well. I was like 10. but it's super watchable, which is why Game Grumps have done most of the Katamari
Yeah,
games
they've
now.
done 3 of them, which are the 3 that I have watched.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just overall like entertaining. It just kind of feels like some weird LSD trip that like the designer like took, and then just like you're experiencing whatever that was, and it's crazy.
It's very
Very unique.
Unique.
yes.
Yeah.
Not just different,
But
unique and good.
yeah, like
and like we were talking about last podcast, like the first and foremost, the game needs to be good before anything else.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what really drives Katamari is like every single Katamari game is like at worst pretty good.
Yeah.
So like the humor is definitely one of the driving elements of it, but each of them are like super fun to play. They're super fun to watch. They're super fun to laugh at. So even if you don't like slapstick humor, like they're not even easy games. Like I don't think I've ever gotten a perfect score except on maybe 2 stars, and I've played every game in the franchise.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean there's plenty there for you if you just like to play video games and hate to laugh or something. So on that note, we're going to take a really quick break. We'll be back in 5 or 10 minutes or so, and we're going to leave you off with some grand old Katamari music.
Starting with Lonely Rolling Stone. Turn that down for you. We
How
are
about
on now. Hello.
Okay, hi, we're back.
Boy.
So, we spent this past 10 minutes deciding what to do with the rest of this podcast because we were talking in circles. So, we're going to talk about the designs a little bit, the artistic direction, and since you came up with that idea, Lucas, I'm going to let you begin.
All right, so fantastic. Also, don't call me Lucas. My name's Goose.
Sorry,
so, the cows. They are probably my favorite single part of Katamari Damacy, of like single characters that are not the prince or
Your favorite
king, but the other
quote thing to interact with.
Quote thing, yeah. Because they are so beautifully made. If you like, can you like zoom in on those cows on that image in any way, shape, or form? Because like the way that the cows are actually portrayed in the game, they are one of like 3 like humanoid animal things that have like an enormous amount of movesets and like actual
they actually
actual
like
activity and personality assigned to them.
Yeah, they have like pathing and stuff like that.
Yeah, like it's crazy. They will actually go around objects, and we can't even figure that out in some games in 2016. Like the amount of time that was put into the cows was very clearly intentional, and I don't know why. I wish I knew the backstory, but
well,
I just think that they're
them
really
and
well
like
designed.
other animals will make like a concerted effort to like run away from you, and they'll even like round corners and stuff that you can't get into.
Yeah, exactly. And another weird thing about the cows for me is that of all the animals, they are, I think, the only ones that I remember remotely being as anatomically correct as possible that you could do in, what is basically rectangles.
Yeah, I mean, like, they are literally rectangles, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think a lot of just the art direction in its simplicity is, like, super cute and great, and I like to turn it into stars.
Yeah. I love killing it and making it into stars.
You're not killing it, it's just being reborn.
Them to
I'm sorry. You're
Carl Sagan
sacrificing-
said we're made from star stuff.
That's true.
You're sending
Yeah.
them back to their true form.
It's one of those things where, like, now that I'm getting into modeling, I really appreciate the way that Katamari looks. Just because it's really, like, easy to make and it looks really good, and it shows that, like, you don't have to have, like, 8 million polygons just on somebody's nose.
It's
Exactly.
very
It doesn't-
style
it
over
doesn't matter-
substance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how gray your boxes are. It only matters what they look like. Just
Yeah.
like how they feel.
Yeah, it feels good. Katamari feels good to look at. It makes my eyes happy.
Sometimes I just look at it for fun.
Just sitting at home alone.
Strangest way you could have said that.
I just set it up on my wall.
Yeah,
And
so
I just
look
turn on
at
my
it.
PS2, I just go to the first level, and I just sit there
and I just
watch.
stare. I let it play
Yeah,
on my
I
TV.
let
I've got a
the timer
poster
run
of
out.
it.
Okay, but do you have, like, a body pillow with the King of All Cosmos
No,
on it?
but since I recently redesigned my bedroom, I actually replaced the ceiling with just a zoom in of his crotch.
Okay. Good.
So what's everyone's favorite level from Katamari? I'll let Dan start.
So, I might be a weird choice because I don't actually remember any particular levels or like by name or anything. But one of my favorites was I was playing a co-op level with some friends, and it was a series of like connected islands, each with these like big bridges between them, and there was like weird sea monsters in between each of the islands. I thought that level was a lot of fun.
So what did you have to do? Like roll up enough stuff to get the sea monster to move on?
Yeah, pretty much. Or it was like a that's what you had to do in like the regular level. Since it was just like a kind of versus mode thing, you just had to like get. as
Was
much
that
stuff.
in We Love Katamari?
I think so.
Because that sounds familiar. That's the one I played most recently.
I can't be sure because it was a friend's copy of the game, so I don't remember exactly. But it was really cool. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, Riva.
My favorite level is probably the first time that you get big enough to go outside. When you're like in the room. I think you're in the room for like a level or two.
In Tamashi?
Yeah. You're like in the same sort of room, and your goal is to get bigger, obviously. But it's not big enough for the game to let you go outside. So the first time that you do, and there's so much more stuff outside, and that's like just bigger, was just like, oh my gosh, like I never played a game that like was that big before.
Yeah, and actually, in case people aren't clear on that, every level of Katamari, I believe, in most of the games, takes place in the exact same place. You're just a different size when you begin.
Yes.
So like you basically begin in like a bedroom on the first level, and then you can like explore the house, and then like start to go outside, and then you start to explore the city. But every time you're in the same like model of a house, and you're just getting bigger and bigger in relation to it, and eventually you're like going over the entire world, and like you can see the curvature of the earth as you roll over oceans and get sea monsters and Raijin gods and shit.
Yes.
Goose?
So favorite level is Taurus and Katamari Damacy because there's a holy cow in it, and that is the only thing that matters to me in level design. All those other things that have been said before
as
don't
long
matter.
as the holy cow
As long
exists.
as it is the holy cow,
Oh,
it is my favorite level.
More cow per
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah.
Needs more cow.
Can someone just remake
8 out of
Katamari
5.
Damacy and every
Katamari.
object just be slightly varying sizes of cow?
Yes. Yes. Everything is cow. Cows all the way down.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Is there? Actually, I have no idea. Is there like a texture modding community for Katamari? Because if not, there sure as shit should be.
I think there is, since it's a PS2
Someone
game.
would, someone could find out. Yeah.
I don't know. Is there? Because people like repaint Wii games and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like there's a reasonable community for that. I don't know. Somebody get on that
There's a
internet.
Katamari Minecraft mod.
Oh.
No, don't even want to touch
Oh,
that.
oh
So-
god, there's
so-
swears. That's
so let's just
heresy.
talk about the Monster Hunter texture modding community. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ryan.
Mine's kind of similar to Reva's, just because, or exactly the same, because it kind of is like where it starts to show scale with between like things and actually like, growing from like a really small thing, because like up until then you're stuck in the room. But
Yeah.
that's just me.
Like, how many clothespins can I pull?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
how many clothespins, how many little like game tile pieces,
Yeah.
how many like pieces of candy.
Yeah, and then you're
Uh,
actually like eventually possibly getting up like one person that's like in the alleyway. At the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. That's the other thing. I really like how Katamari's like unashamedly Japanese. Because it doesn't
Yeah.
pretend that it's anything. Like, it says shogi pieces. Like,
Oh yeah.
it knows exactly what it is. When you go to the school, it's a Japanese school with sliding doors and shit.
It's one of those things where like thank God no localization team like really tried to touch it.
And like Ace Attorney, like enjoy your hamburger, and it's just a bowl of rice.
Yes, that is
Oh,
like
God.
thank God for
Oh.
What
awkward
about Brock's
zombie.
Donuts?
Yeah,
yeah,
jelly
yeah.
donuts.
Yeah,
jelly
or
donuts.
yeah.
Or the entire 6-inch sub sandwich tumbling down a hill.
Yeah.
Anything with the Yu-Gi-Oh being sent to the
Pretty
Shadow
much-
Realm.
Yeah, and, like the 90s localization where literally it's just like, oh, this thing that's obviously not this thing.
Man, I'm so
I
mad
enjoy
about
it.
So mad about Ace Attorney now that you brought it up. And like I could talk
mean,
forever about Ace Attorney.
localization.
They're doing
I
that new
mean-
Ace Attorney game in the next year or so, I think, where it actually is set in feudal Japan. Do you think it's just going to be in like colonial America or
Yes.
something?
It's
I
gonna be
would not
Colonial
be
America,
surprised.
and they're gonna rename the first person like Alexander Hamilton, and also they're gonna bring in
Ieyasu is just going to be like Bruce Springsteen. I don't know.
yeah,
Localization.
it's yeah, Alexander Hamilton's gonna be there, and it's actually just gonna be Lin-Manuel Miranda is the voice.
Can't wait to see how Capcom screws this up.
Yes.
I mean, at least
I
it's
could
not
talk for a
Fire
very long
Emblem.
time about.
I don't want to talk about Fire Emblem.
Mhm.
My favorite level, I was actually going to say Taurus as well, but now that I've thought about it, I think it's the final level of We Love Katamari, where you get so big that you roll off of the Earth into the stratosphere and start rolling up the planets that you've been making throughout the whole game.
Nice.
Because catharsis, baby.
Dang.
It's just so much fun. I love it. It's either that or the level where you have to go to the lake and then like roll over a desert to turn it back into like a pleasant valley or whatever with all the flowers and shit. I think that's really fun.
Before you destroy the planet.
Before you roll it back up and eradicate all humanity. So, Reaver brought up an interesting point where it's kind of hard to talk about Katamari without talking about gimmicks in video games. And the word gimmick, I feel like, has been kind of like sullied as far as video games are concerned. Like, everyone kind of thinks of that as a naughty word now. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. For the purposes of this discussion, we're referring to a gimmick as, or a gimmick game rather, as any game which is defined by its unique characteristic, typically being its gameplay, I imagine. I think all the examples we have, that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first one that was brought up was Link's crossbow training.
Ah!
I actually haven't played it,
Link's,
of all things.
Link's crossbow training is not terrible.
I don't get it. Link never had a crossbow.
It's just an arcade shooter.
Okay. See, yes, it's just an arcade shooter, but it was also used to like push the horrible like Nintendo add-on of like the gun
I mean, it
accessory.
wasn't necessarily even like an add-on. It was just like a plastic peripheral.
Yeah, but they wanted to push the plastic
Yeah,
peripheral.
definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But
I had
Nintendo made this game real quick using Twilight Princess assets.
Mike is dropped.
Dan, idea.
Oh, we're back.
Don't have it on your lap.
The alternate universe in which I want to live in is the universe where Mario and The Legend of Zelda switched roles in the Nintendo catalog, and Mario is very, very serious.
I mean, where they had 6 subsequent identical Zelda games.
Yes, and also there's like Zelda Party,
Oh no.
and just like horrible like Zelda party games, and like Link is everywhere. And like Link's crossbow training, I think is as close as I'm gonna get to living in my perfect alternate.
I would play Zelda Tennis.
Yes, exactly. Please Nintendo, please Miyamoto.
Link's
I
in
know
Mario Kart 8.
that you're out here listening to me. Please.
I hope of our like 6 viewers, one of them is just Miyamoto.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Also, please don't get us banned for talking about your stuff, please.
We didn't play your music. We didn't do anything illegal.
But
We said the word Nintendo.
Yeah.
yeah, Link's crossbow training is like an arcade shooter, but the gimmick, I guess the Link's crossbow training is the one where the gimmick isn't the gameplay. The gimmick is that it's Zelda.
Yeah, well, because it's selling itself on being a Zelda game.
Yes,
but
it's
it's kind of in name only.
It's a first-person game where you play as Link and you can see Link's hands, and like you're shooting stuff, and Link has a crossbow, and there's a Nintendo peripheral that you're supposed to use for it, but nobody does because it's a horrible peripheral.
So was the peripheral literally? Are you talking about the one that's just a handgun?
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
like a modern handgun.
It was.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I think it had like a stock a little bit.
It was like okay,
It was like a
okay, so
rifle.
it was like a
Yeah.
stock with an
'Cause-
actual like stock and curvature up, and it was almost literally a crossbow without
You-
like
Oh, yeah.
the arch of the
Yeah.
crossbow.
Put
Let's
the
be real.
Because I had the
It
one
was-
for Cabela's that was just like a big gross green rifle.
If,
Yeah, it was
That
essentially
horrible.
that.
if you were
But
poor,
with white.
like I was, and you borrow Link's crossbow training for one of your friends, you don't have to have the peripheral to play. You have to hold the nunchuck where the peripheral kind of would hold the nunchuck, and then like pull
Just
the
imagine
B
it.
button to shoot.
Oh, yeah.
It's not fun. There's a reason that like Nintendo really pushed Link's
Okay.
crossbow training to try to push the peripheral that
So they
nobody
could
was
sell their
using.
20-cent piece of plastic for
Yeah.
$6 a pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody wanted to use it, and nobody really did. That's the only game I can think of that
Yeah,
like
I'm trying to think
everybody
of
used.
Nope,
Instance.
Resident Evil 4 did.
Resident Evil 4.
I
I can
can't
think
think
of
of-
yeah, that
actually
did.
Oh, there-
over 20 games that
The
use
Umbrella
that, and I
Chronicles
don't
and
wanna
Dark
talk
Side
about them.
Chronicles.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
isn't there a similar? I think it's Resident Evil where it's like an arcade. like,
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
the rails.
Umbrella Chronicles and Dark
Yeah.
Side Chronicles,
Yeah. Because I remember playing it and hating it.
Yeah. We'll get to Resident Evil one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a time where like other than Link's crossbow training that wasn't CDI that just veered so far from like Legend of Zelda.
No, that's about it.
Yeah.
Four Swords
Yeah.
Adventures wasn't very Zelda.
I mean, but
Oh, neither
at
is-
least held the essence of it, whereas like CDI
Yeah.
and
No, CDI was a long shot away.
yeah, that was a long shot away, and then crossbow training is nothing like Legend of Zelda. I'm just like, why?
It's
Link never had a crossbow. It's not canon.
Triforce Heroes 2 is a little like.
Yeah, it's the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon of Zelda.
Yeah, except
Yeah.
worse, and I hate it.
So I think for a gimmick game that we all, or at least most people enjoy, Braid. It's a
That's-
platformer with time travel gimmick.
That
Yeah.
is-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
that is
gimmick game.
solid. That was
Actually, come to think of it, this is kind of the spades of indie games.
Well, yeah.
yeah.
So actually, I was about to bring this up.
Because Braid, Fez, Super Meat Boy, etc.
I think it was the creator of Braid, which is why I'm bringing this up, who said this. An indie game just needs to not go through like horrible hell in development, and needs to have like you need to have a unique gimmick
Mhm.
that is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't do you consider an indie game something that wasn't published by a big name company or not made by a big name company? Because Katamari was made by I think a very small team, but it was published by Namco.
So, okay,
Independently
In that
developed.
sense,
but-
it's kind of indie.
So using the word indie to be a short version of the word independent,
yeah.
if you have a publisher, you are not indie.
Well,
Yeah.
because people will
Yeah.
say like independently developed.
But I mean, Stardew
but, like,
Valley is
But the studio's
very
like
much
at
indie,
least
but it has a
indie.
publisher.
Right.
Yeah.
Same with Child of Light.
Yeah.
But these are more
Same
like
with No Man's Sky.
I don't think I'm not mad at like people for classifying these games as indie games because I think it sort of holds true.
Yeah.
I think there should be a sort of distinction between a game that has a developer, or has a, sorry,
A publisher.
every game has a developer.
A game that exists versus
Made by an AI.
Between the games that exist and don't exist. Between a game that has a publisher where it's like
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
we're giving you like a small amount of money and like a small team to do this small project,
Yeah.
and then we'll make like some money back on it.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, because like
Yeah, I mean, technically Grow Home is indie-like, but it's definitely not.
Well, I feel like
It's
people are
published
almost
by
confusing
Ubisoft.
indie for a style of game, but we'll
Yeah.
talk about that on
Yeah,
another
yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
because like it is a different experience
Yeah, it's
than
totally-
a game that's developed completely devoid of a publisher.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like in film production, like there are like studios that or like there's like subsidiary
Yeah.
publishers that like give money out in like
Mhm.
small doles to like small projects,
Hmm.
and like those films are not independent
Yeah.
because they have a publisher
Yeah.
and they have like money and
Oh, yeah,
support
definitely.
from like larger higher up
Definitely,
groups.
definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah,
tangent aside, we're going to talk about V as an indie game.
yeah.
Or did you want to talk about Braid more, actually? Because we didn't go into that very far.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think I have too much to say about Braid.
yeah,
It would be kind of the same. We're basically saying, like, good game with good gimmick equals good game.
Equals even
Yeah.
better game.
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually played Braid. I own it on Steam.
It's an excellent game.
it's really good.
I'm not
It's
super into
like-
platformers or side scrollers or
I
anything.
love platformers so much.
It's
Yeah.
not. I mean, it is a platformer, but it's definitely more of a puzzle game than a platformer.
Yeah.
It-
Okay.
It's just kind of subversive by
I'm
that.
also dumb as hell. Like,
It's hard. It's a
No.
pretty hard game.
So I've told you this before, Dan. The reason
Yeah.
I don't like Braid is because I think it would make a fantastic book, but I'm a dipshit at time-based puzzles, so I hate it.
Oh.
yeah, I
I
remember.
I just can't do it.
I think that was my first like indie game in general.
It's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So
Definitely.
yeah, good game plus independent mechanic, or plus gimmicky, cool mechanic usually equals even better, more interesting game.
Yeah.
Because I was watching a review on Axiom Verge this morning,
Yeah.
and Axiom Verge is a cool game, but it's kind of just Super Metroid. I mean, it's got its like unique variant of the Ice Beam, is the glitch gun or whatever that like changes enemies' patterns and stuff, and that's really
Yeah.
interesting. But it doesn't really sell itself on much more than just being Super Metroid again.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's part of the point of being like a small project
Hmm.
is that to show yourself out instead of having like a large budget is that you need to do something experimental.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and especially in that case, because there's no shortage of like Castlevania, Metroid style, like
Yeah.
independently made
Retro
games. Like there's plenty of
inspired.
those.
Yeah.
Versus-
Not linear games.
Not that there's anything wrong with these.
Oh,
games.
yeah, yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
them are super fun.
Yeah. there's-
Versus, there just isn't really there aren't a whole lot of like 2D Zelda like
Oh yeah.
quote rip-offs, not really rip-offs, but that style of like independent game.
Yeah.
So that's why like Hyper Light Drifter sold so well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Was because it's kind of filling a niche that doesn't really exist elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Hyper Light Drifter was also like pretty visually and like stylistically unique.
Yeah, I think it looks really awesome, and it's got
Yeah.
like kind of. We'll talk about it later.
Another gimmick game that we talked about that probably a lot of people have played or heard of is Portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is actually what made us redefine gimmick between us, because none of us were really clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Portal it's a puzzle game with a singular gimmick that drives every single puzzle, and the physics are what make that game continue to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. I really like that
So long, Goose.
See,
So long.
when they were. This has nothing to do with the gimmick, but when they were like making Portal and having people playtest, there's no fall damage in the game because that would suck.
Because it'd be impossible.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And people were just like really concerned for Chell because she would just fall and like be okay, and then they were like, that doesn't make any sense. Like everything else kind of sort of is explained like within the universe of the game, so then that's why
Yeah.
they added the like weird
Mm.
things
Long fall
onto
boots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Which
like
I think are super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are. Yeah.
yeah, but they added it because people were like, oh, that doesn't really make sense because everything else
Yeah.
doesn't make sense if you think about it like within the parameters of like
Yeah.
Well, that's
Reality
part of
really-
fiction, is you have to assume that everything is real life unless they tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So that was like the one thing that destroyed everybody's suspension of disbelief was that
Conscious turrets? Sure.
Yeah.
Fall
Conscious-
damage? I don't think
conscious
so.
turrets that just push a bullet out so you get more bullet per bullet.
Yeah. I love that so much.
That
Because that
is-
actually explains why Shell doesn't die when she gets shot.
It's just like blunt force trauma because
Yeah.
they just instead of
Throwing bullets.
igniting a bullet like you're supposed to, the turrets are just first of all, filled with bullets to the brim, and then they just push them out really, really hard, so they don't like pierce skin. They just like hit.
There's rubber bullets. I actually didn't know that. That's really funny.
Yes.
That's actually, yeah.
Yeah, they made I think a short little film about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're.
It looks like a film reel.
Oh yeah,
Dang.
you can actually see it in game in Portal 2.
There is.
Yeah.
We haven't played Portal 2 yet, Dan. We've had it for 3 years. Come on.
There is like a little video that they kind of show that like shows them like filling the turrets like with bullets.
It's really funny.
Just dumping them.
Yes, and Portal's also a game that does humor really, really well,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's also
yeah.
serious too.
Yeah,
Whereas like
70%
Katamari,
more bullet per bullet.
yes, Katamari is just pretty much humor all the way through, but Portal's a really good balance of the two.
Oh, yeah.
I just harping on harping the praises for Portal for just a second. I love the explanation that Shell's not actually a silent protagonist in like she's like mute or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She's just so mad at Gladys that she refuses to talk. is Val's explanation for why she never talks.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Can we play Portal 2, Dan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The
I
single
understand,
player is
but I'm gonna say
separate
yes.
from the multiplayer.
I know.
It's a
Uh,
good
Love to
game.
do both.
I mean, this
I haven't had
is a
someone
Katamari
pick it up
podcast,
yet.
but like, one of the cooler experiences to have is I met the people who made Portal, the indie group from DigiPen who made Princess Nebula, I think. Was
And
the
the Nervacular Drop team.
Yeah, Nervacular Drop, that's what it was. Who made the game and it got picked up by Valve and then turned into Portal. Nervacular Drop is interesting.
I love I love that Nervacular Drop is named as such, not because they had a cool name or like a fantasy world. They literally just invented Nervacular Drop for search engine optimization because Nervacular is a word that does not exist and they just want to show up on Google easy.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
It's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it works.
There's a really interesting story about the stupid cake joke that's actually kind of funny, but like in real life, I hate the cake is a lie. That's like,
Yeah.
ugh.
It's just overused.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was funny when it first came out.
Yeah, and
One
like
month.
the
Yeah,
story.
the 1 month until the internet took it.
The story behind it is really funny. Where like when they were trying to get people to play test Nervacular Drop, they would say like, "Come play our game, and we also have cake there." And then they'd come, and there wasn't any cake. So they put that in the game, kind of like as a reference to the fact that like they just lied to people to get them to come and play the game.
Perfect.
Yes,
Okay. Any closing thoughts on Katamari?
I love
I
Katamari.
love it. I think
I love-
Katamari's awesome.
Is
We
the
love
game?
Katamari.
We collectively love Katamari. Thank you. Give us. Never mind.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for showing up, everybody. Thanks, Goose, who left early. Riva, Ryan, thanks again.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
Do you guys want to plug contact info, anything like that?
Hit me up at Riva Pinata, just about everywhere. It's like Viva Pinata, but
Riva
with my
Pinata.
name.
Yeah, you can find me at Dombeduck anywhere, and that's really hard to spell. So have fun with that.
I'll link it in the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Thank you. Great. So Dan and I, we are collectively Respawn Lounge. You can find us at our Twitter at Respawn_Lounge, I believe it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on our Twitch, so you know what that is. If not, you're on our YouTube, so you know what that is. If you have any
Either
suggestions,
from either.
if you have any suggestions, or if you want to be on the show, you want to propose a topic to us, just hate us or something, you can email us at respawnloungeofficial, all one word, no uppercase or anything, at gmail.com. What's on our list next week, Dan? Why am I asking you? I have the itinerary right in front of me.
Yes, I do not remember.
Next week is your suggestion, Warhammer, Dawn of War.
Yes.
Specifically
Oh, so
the first
excited.
Dawn of War. Maybe it can be about all of it. I don't know anything about Warhammer.
Mhm.
So I'm going to play the first Dawn of War, and I'm going to see what I think about it. All I know about Warhammer is that the orcs are immortal and psychic or something like that. They're just too stupid to realize it, which is
Pretty great.
hilarious.
It's pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's our plan for next week. Anything else, Dan?
No, I think that's it.
Alrighty. You guys want to go get dinner?
Good night.